On this episode of Compass Conundrum, we visited Lake Louisa State Park, where we participated in a ROYO, or a Race on Your Own adventure race, hosted by Florida Extreme Adventures. Ange, Tanya, and myself had a blast tromping through the woods and trails of Lake Louisa State Park. So follow us as we go on this ROYO. All right, well, it's 6:50 in the morning, and this is one of the things we do at Compass Conundrum. Sometimes earlier, but this time we loaded up the pop-up this morning. It's 6:50 a.m. We're driving out to Lake Louisa State Park. We're going to meet up with Ange, who's my sister, and Tanya, Ange, and myself are going to take an adventure, and we're going to camp out overnight. But our main goal this weekend is to hit up a Race on Your Own adventure race. We're going to just do a trekking portion, so we're just going to do it on our feet with Compass. We're going to try to maybe do a little bit bushwhacking and have a little bit of fun with that, but that's our goal. So this is the beginning of another average adventure for Compass Conundrum. Lake Louisa State Park is located in Clearmont, Florida, just 30 miles west of Orlando. Lake Louisa State Park is a beautiful state park. It has an amazing campground. It has some amazing rolling hills where you can see some great sunset views. The drive back to Lake Louisa is quite long, but what we found out is that Lake Louisa is home to over 20 miles of hiking, and the hiking varies. There's a lot of different opportunities of hiking here. You can hike out in some great palmetto sections, some oak hammocks, some pine runs, some quarry sections. You can hike along the lake system. There truly is so much that Lake Louisa offers. Of course, on this trip, we were focused on a Race on Your Own adventure race that we decided to do on foot, which means we're going to orienteer with a compass and a map on foot. Ange, Tanya, and myself, well, we're going to show you kind of how we do things. It's not perfect. It's just how we do it. But it was fun to get out and explore and do what we like to do, which is live, learn, and explore. All right, so we are going to, in adventure racing, you would typically have about an hour to plan your course. And so we have in this situation, we have the directions from the race director. We have the clues that we're looking for, and on our phones, typically we wouldn't use electronic devices, but in the pandemic they're allowing us to use GPS and some other things to help us navigate, but we're just going to use standard compasses. But these are our actual clues that we're going to be looking for, and then on our phones will be the pictures to those clues. But for adventure racing today, we're gonna do this on foot, which is most people probably wouldn't do because it's gonna be a pretty good distance. I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna guess 15 miles. But what we have is a standard topographical map, and we have to kind of be able to recognize different features. But you'll see that there are different checkpoints, and they're these CP. They say like CP4. So that's a checkpoint, and we'll have a picture on our phone. We'll be looking for, on CP4, we're looking for a flagpole. So you'll see CP4. We're looking for a flagpole, and so we are going to travel around this park, and we have a start and finish area that we're going to use. We're going to start at the lake at Lake Louisa, because we're at Lake Louisa State Park, because this is where this race this ROYO is. And so we're going to start there, and we're going to hit all these little red points on foot and track all of them and find them. So key things that we need for any adventure race. So when you're adventure racing, there are some things that you're supposed to have with you. And so probably the best one, Ange, where's yours? Ange has got a cool one. I have a generic compass. Ange has a really fancy compass. I found that you can get lost with either one, so it doesn't really matter. It's really more about how well you know how to use your compass. And of course we got another, so we usually carry a couple compasses with us. You should always have a whistle in the event that you or are distressed. Technically, all three of us should have a whistle in the event that we get separated, but we're going to race together. But it's good for distress calls. And then we typically all have packs. Tanya and I are on the cheaper side, so we just have, you know, little Coleman backpacks that you buy at Walmart. And they typically have things like a little bit of rope, first aid. What are some other things that we carry in our packs? Oh, yeah. Hydration. That's pretty important when you're out for long periods of time. What else do we typically have to carry? First aid kit. Yeah, I said first aid kit. If we were biking, because traditionally in adventure racing, you'd have trekking, biking, and canoeing. We would typically also have a spare tire. Fix-a-flat is usually helpful. Like slime. We use that quite often when we're racing. And rope. I think I said rope because you might have to tow somebody. And then, of course, any food stuff that you might want. Today we're just trekking on foot, so we got peanut butter and jellies and some stuff like that. So now what we're going to do is one more thing that we typically bring on our races is a wonderful map case, because you can put this around you and carry it, and that way you can just kind of reference your map. So you'll see this later when we're out hiking around. We got a couple of these waterproof too in the event it's raining, or if you're in a canoe. These are quite handy. Anything else? I think that's the basics. All right, so now you guys are going to get to listen to us argue about which way we should go, because that's the next part of the adventure, is trying to plan the course. So we are going to figure out what we want to do and how we want to do it. All right, so who wants to do we want to take notes, write things down? My question to you guys is do we want to are we trying to do this whole map today?
Hell no.
Okay. No, okay.
Not me.
Not
Y'all can.
Okay. So then probably we should stay with
that's
these
what I
ones.
was thinking.
These ones here, and just leave
And
out.
then that could be tomorrow.
Sure, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we'll leave that map out. All right, so map 2, don't need.
That's my vote, but.
That's your vote? You down with the same thing? Okay. So CP1 and 2, CP2 is going to be really easy.
It's right here, right?
Yeah, it's right off of the lake.
So 1 and 2. Looks like.
It's actually a campsite off the lake. So
CP1.
CP1 is State Park entry. 2 first, then 1.
Yeah.
Then do we want to go 4, 8, 7, 5, 6, 3, back to 2? Let's look at distance too.
Yes, that's right.
Let's do a little measurement here. So you take your compass, and you'll see that like every compass is they're not all the same, but they have different measurements along different parts. So you can use these to measure against the scale that you have. And sometimes you have to do some math. We're not going to do that today, but sometimes you have to do some math using this equation down here, and to figure out your distances. So you can see there's kilometers. So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to map out or measure out distances between the red lines or red dots. That's our goal, and let's try to get there as quickly as possible. I want to do kilometers. I'd rather count kilometers than do miles. So I'm just going to do kilometers. I'm just going to measure out these, figure out what's my best. In this scenario, it's half. Yay.
So what, it's 9. I'm like thinking along the lines of what gets us back over here.
Right.
It might be that we do.
Well, we could always bail on 6. If we could always bail on 6 since it's the one that's further out. So if we came here and hit this, then we just, if we don't want to go get that one, we can.
Well, we can if we do these.
All right, so I've made some notes. I don't know if you can see, but we just write like 0.5, 1 kilometer. I know it might be hard for you to read. 0.5, 0.75. Especially like this CP, it's going to be interesting. It's like CP4 to CP8 is about 0.75 kilometers. So, and looks like we're going to get off the trail, so we're going to have to hold a bearing. When we get there, we'll kind of shoot a bearing. Not super worried about that right now because it's kind of straight and it butts up next to a road. So we got what we like to call handrails to help us, find these things. So those are just some little things with not letterboxing, adventure racing when you're on foot and trekking that you might want to do. So after we get done with 8, we're just going to reassess and.
What are we looking for?
Well,
what are the things?
Good point. All right, so CP2 is going to be CP2. We're going to be looking for a campsite located off of the water. CP1 is actual state park entrance, which I didn't know existed. And then CP4, CP4 is a flagpole, and CP8 is a gate at the state park boundary. So that's what we'll be looking for, and we'll take pictures of those. Once again, on my phone, I have the actual picture, so we know exactly what we're looking for. So next step is we take these. Typically, looks like I'll probably be the navigator today. So I'll have this map and these clues in my. I could carry them. I mean, it wouldn't be a big deal. It's not raining today. But sometimes it's nice to just have your hands free, and then the fact that I'm going to be videotaping some of this, it'll be helpful to just have this around my neck and be able to carry it. But when it's raining and things like that, these come in handy. This one's really big, and you might be like, man, that's a big case. But that's because sometimes the maps are bigger than this. Typically, the maps are bigger than this in adventure racing. They typically fill this whole case. But because these were printed from home, that just gives us a point.
So I open the door.
So basically, you take this, put it around your neck, and you can carry it around. And you can set it up lots of different ways, but this is just one way to do it. So, all right, we're gonna put all of our equipment away. We're gonna go look for some of these checkpoints. Checkpoint. That's what we're looking for. Well, we hope you enjoyed another average adventure with Compass Conundrum. Ange, Tanya, and myself had a blast participating in this ROYO. So we want to thank Florida Extreme Adventures for hosting these ROYOs during the pandemic. If you like this video, make sure you click that subscribe button below. It's the orange and white logo. That'll get you to more of our videos. And if you want to learn more about adventure racing, well, check the description section below, and you'll learn about adventure races around Florida and Georgia. As always, make sure you're out there living, learning, and exploring.